Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines 2. How's it going everybody? Today we are going to be doing quite a few things. So I want to build out our industrial base. Anybody who's kind of played this game for a bit knows that the industrial base is super important. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight, we're actually kind of fluctuating back and forth between profitability right now. And so we really want to pay attention to our services. I initially wanted to do some transit right now. Because the city is so small though, I would like to think that they wouldn't invest so heavily in transit just yet. Once we start expanding out and really getting into some smaller villages and everything, then it's going to become a thing where the city can afford to do mass transit. And so let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing we are going to do is we are going to be unlocking squares. So we're going to do our forestry up here in this corner. We're going to do some agriculture down here. And then we are going to go ahead and unlock, I think we can unlock all those. Is that 10? Looks like it's 14. So let's go back to that. Let's unlock these. Purchase. Let's go ahead and unlock this. And let's, I guess, just leave those two. Maybe we'll unlock these. Yeah, that could be good. Perfect. So we're going to be doing a forestry area up here. We're going to be doing some agriculture. We're going to turn this all into agriculture. And one of the things I want to do, I really want to capture that kind of realism with it being a city. And so I was looking at the real city of Tampere, and one of the things that it has is a tremendous amount of trees. And so I was looking at this map. I was like, man, there's just not a lot of trees. So I'm going to go ahead and take this time to pretty much spam trees all throughout this. And what it's going to do is help to just create a more realistic city. All right, so just a few moments later, I have spammed a lot of trees in here. And once these grow in about a year or so, it will look really good. And as we expand out our map, it's definitely something that we're going to have to address. So the first thing we're going to do, we need to literally start our production. So if we go down into our city economy, go into production, we can kind of see, so we need lumber, we need grain, livestock, carrots, and then we'll probably even do a quarry of some kind to get some rock going. I don't know if we're going to have access for coal or metal ore, and I definitely know we're not going to be able to do oil this episode. So basically what we're going to do, I want to move our landfill. So what we're going to do, we are going to grab a larger road, and I'm going to go into freeform. I'm going to grab this, and I just kind of want to follow the freeway a little bit. I don't want to get too close to it, but I want to kind of mimic it just a bit. It's kind of like a frontage road, but a little bit farther. So we'll probably go like just about there. And then we are going to create a road. But before we do that, what I want to do is level out a space for our landfill. So what I'm thinking, the tree area is going to be a really prime location for our forestry business. So we're going to go ahead and go like right here. Let's go ahead and just level this bit out. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We'll come back through and also clean it up just a little bit more. So we'll grab just a small road. Let's bring this out probably about right there. And then let's go over to our landfill now. And I really like that they allow you to move these without having to kind of empty them out first. I think that that's a nice little touch. So we'll go like this. And then what we're going to do, we are going to kind of draw this around, and I want it to be big, but not huge. So we'll go all the way down. I'm going to keep those 90-degree angles, and then we'll stop just shy of the road, go like this. And then now what we're going to do is go through and level out a space for this so that it can all be on that land. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then that way what we can do is we'll probably have the road go all the way around, maybe be like a perimeter road or something like that. And then as the trees grow in, it's going to kind of help it to look a little bit better. So let's now slope this. We're going to have this kind of come over here. And then let's just go to soften terrain, kind of blend this in, make it look a little more realistic rather than having some crazy hill right there. Yeah, that looks good. And that even kind of got our landfill a little bit. But this is something that you do see in cities a lot, where the landfills will kind of be all on the hills and everything. And this is one of the cool things with being able to draw these out, is you can now do them on more unique terrain rather than just kind of throwing them in. And so basically what I'm thinking for our forestry area, we're going to do some really big areas. And that's one of the fun parts about this game, is you really get to be a lot more realistic when it comes to your industry and a lot of other uses in your city. So you're allowed to just do huge areas on a scale that we really couldn't even imagine in CS1. So we're going to bring this in, we're going to go just like this, and basically I'm going to cut this around so that we can get our forestry industry really going. So we're going to bring this down, we'll probably go straight, and then we'll have this kind of cut into our road. And you kind of see that I'm just spamming these roads around. I want there to be a lot of three-way junctions. I want it to be kind of split up a bit. We can imagine that maybe these are all a bunch of individual farmers. And this kind of helps to curtail the need to do your industry within the circle. So if you just create more unique layouts, and it kind of makes it look a little bit better rather than just doing big squared areas. We'll now bring this down, and we'll probably have to cut a few of these areas too. We'll bring this down, go just like that. And you know what? I think that looks pretty good just the way it is. And so basically what I'll do, I'll go into zones, into our specialized industry area. And you kind of see the big circle. It is a little bit bigger for the forestry versus some of the other uses, but I'll come in here and there's a little bit of a bug for our specialized industry right now. You have to move your thing around until the building appears, and this is something that's incredibly frustrating, but just something we got to deal with right now. If you place the building when it is not visible, then what happens is you'll end up placing out your whole zone, and then you'll come to realize that you have to replace it all because you didn't get your main building in. So we're going to bring this down, and let's go ahead and just skirt the water a little bit so we can get our zone in there. Makes it look a little bit better. And so basically what I'm going to do is just do that same thing for all these little sections. Okay, so just a few moments later, we have our forestry industry, and you can kind of tell it looks really good. I like it on the edge of the city like this. I really do. Go ahead and give me some suggestions for this area if you guys come up with anything. Let's go ahead and look at our natural resources. So we have some fertile land right here, and we really need to get our carrots and our grain going. These are very important, as well as our livestock. So basically what I'm thinking, I really want to kind of mimic a real city that has all these farms kind of around the outside. So what I was thinking is filling in this entire area. So what we'll do, we'll go ahead and grab a road first. Let's just bring this out. We'll probably have this, yeah, just follow the highway going all the way down, and we'll have it curve. Let's maybe go like right there, have it come straight down. Yeah, I think this is good. And we may even downgrade this to a dirt road, since I would imagine a lot of these areas probably wouldn't pay to have a paved road. There'd really be no point for a lot of them. So let's do that. This should be a big enough area, or a small enough area. Yeah, so we can get some grain farming right there, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and divide that up though, because we don't really need to get grain farming in areas that don't have the fertile land. It's just kind of a waste. So we'll go ahead and go like this, and then do a very similar pattern to what we did on the other side. We're just kind of want to break it up into little homesteads. So we'll bring this all the way down. Let's follow that at a 90-degree angle so we can get right at 180, so we can follow that. Then we'll cut this, and then we'll go ahead and divide these up a bit. Bring this down. Let's go ahead and just bring this one straight, and then we can bring this up. Let's go like this. Let's go ahead and bring one straight off of this, and then we can have this one go down. Let's maybe have it curve like that. Some of these I may have to come back through and kind of make smaller just to fit them within the circle, but it is something that you just have to kind of pay attention to. So we'll go like this, and then I think I'm going to do a rock quarry kind of leading into it. And so give me just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and place it down. All right, so here is our farmland. Let's go ahead and hit play so that we can get some of those buildings in there. I think this looks really good. I like the look of it, especially once the trees come in. So what I created over here is a very large area with a road going in for our quarry. And basically what I want to do, I want to go into the shift terrain tool. I'm going to go ahead and hit right click. And I want to create an actual like in the ground kind of aggregate farm, since that's what this would be. And so we're going to go like this. We're going to leave a little bit of room for our main building. But basically what I'm hoping is as the big extractor spawns, I really want it to spawn inside of the hole. And I haven't tried this yet. I've been playing around with it for a little bit, but we're going to go ahead and try it right now. And I think that this is a great time. So we're going to place this down. Let's go ahead and follow this all the way around. We can jump out of this view so we can actually see the road. And then hopefully once the extractor comes in, I can actually start playing around with the levels a little bit on this hole and create like a cascading effect rather than it just being one giant hole in the ground. But it does make it look a little more realistic, because especially for aggregate farms, it wouldn't just be a flat space. It would be a hole in the ground, because what they're digging for is rocks. Voila. And let's go ahead and see where this extractor comes in. And you know what? It did exactly what I was thinking. So it's going to be on the same level as the building, but this actually looks pretty good. So it is on a little bit of a slant. And so I think that actually looks really good. I like the look of that a lot. Let's go back into the shift terrain tool, and we're going to create just a couple little hills in here. Like maybe these are where the, extractor kind of buckets are going around. And so this actually looks really good. That put it on a slant. I'm actually really surprised. I thought the whole thing had to be level. This looks awesome, because now we can come in here. Let's just like go like this, and maybe this is actually digging the hole. Let's say like, all right, because then we can kind of shift that terrain down. Yeah, look at that. I think that looks awesome. I wish the shadows were a little bit better, but it's probably something that they're working on with the updates and everything coming up. The shadows will probably get better the more we play the game, but I think that looks awesome. I really like the look of that. I think this is really cool. I like that they did the chain link fence going around as well. I'm kind of hoping that maybe the texture does improve a little bit, but while I was placing down all the livestock, we did unlock the dairy farm. So let's go ahead and check that out. So we'll come in here, go to industry. I'd really like to get this somewhere, like turn this into a nice big area. I remember growing up, there was a dairy farm and it actually did like little tours and everything for everybody. So what we're going to do, we're going to come back. Let's turn this straight. And we're going to prioritize some parking. We're going to make this look a little more realistic. So we're going to go like this. Let's go ahead and jump into parking and see if we can get, I'm thinking that third one right there. So let's bring this back just one more. Yeah, so if we go, of course, it's going to give me some problems, which is okay. So we'll bring this back and then go this way. Let's check out that parking lot now. Yeah, I think that this is awesome. So we're going to go ahead and do 3, and we're going to assume that this actually does like big tours for like the elementary kids and stuff like that, maybe the kindergartners. And let's place down the building now. So I'd really like to get this maybe on one side, or like, actually, let's check it out right in the middle. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then once these trees grow in, it's going to make it look a little bit better. But what we could do is put in some small industry on the side, try to get some warehouses. I think that would be a nice little look. Let's remove zoning off of this road. And we're going to come back through and take this path out. Basically what I want to do is just spawn a few warehouses. So we're going to watch these build in, and I'm going to play whack-a-mole until I get the buildings that I want, just to kind of complement this building. And so while we're waiting for these to grow in, let's go ahead and place down some cell phone towers, because that is something that we unlocked on the last episode, and it is something that would be hugely prioritized in this game. And so we really want to place these in a location where they're going to look realistic. I kind of wish that they had the ones that look like trees that you kind of see, or even water towers, so that you could blend them into the city rather than just having like a huge radio mass. I don't really like the appeal of that, but maybe in a future update they'll add in some of those like tree ones, so you can kind of tuck them in and make it not look as bad. And one of the cool things with these that I did find is upgrading them a lot does end up doing wonders for your city, but we got some pretty good coverage over here. Let's go ahead and do one over in our industrial area as well. We would really want to get some coverage. I feel like that would be important, especially for this area. I think what we're going to do, we're going to demolish a poor building. Yeah, we're going to go just like that, because then we have some awesome coverage now. Our farm area doesn't, but this would be rural, and so it would be kind of safe to assume that maybe they just didn't get them. So we did end up getting some buildings that we don't really want. We're going to take those down. And what I'm thinking is we might need to trim down our zoning just a little bit to maybe encourage a different style of building to come in there. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and extend this out. I want to connect it up to this other road. I feel like this would be a really good location to at least provide a little bit of coverage. This whole area has connectivity back here, which is awesome. We're going to go ahead and leave a lot of this surrounding area empty until we start building out some more services and stuff. This would be like our huge farmland area. As the city does expand, the city will start to encroach upon the farmland, which is something that you do see in cities. And so that's why I wanted to do these big areas. I think it just makes it a little more realistic. All right, so let's check this out. It does look like we actually got a pretty good little building right here. I do like the look of that. And then what do we got here? We got metal ore. I think those actually look really good. And then tempted to even do a couple more on this side just to complete the look. Yeah, I think that's going to look good. So if we go just like that, I'm going to remove zoning off this backside by using the pathway, and I am going to go back and remove it because I don't really like the idea of just having a random pathway there. Every now and then, I mean, having that bike access, once we do get bikes, it's going to be really nice. So we are going to actually trim that back one square, and we're going to see what comes in here. But I think this really helps to complete the look. We don't have huge smokestacks. We can assume that maybe this is just part of the dairy farm, and we do get some awesome citywide perks for this. We get +2 industrial efficiency and +2 export profits citywide, which is just fantastic. So let's go ahead and look at our budget now. We are still, looks like we're still doing pretty good. So we're fluctuating up and down. We're not really losing a lot of money, and we're, you know, the big reason we're not is because we haven't started spamming like buses or a lot of other services like fire departments or police stations. Those are a lot more expensive in this game rather than CS1. We do need to go ahead and do some residential though. So what we're going to do now is move over to this other location. And the idea is, since we did grain over here, we're going to do carrots over here, but we do need to do some residential. So we're going to bring this back. Maybe we'll have to turn it just a bit, which isn't the end of the world. And then we will go ahead and move in that same direction, hit that page down button. I do want to be kind of perpendicular with the edge of that. So we'll go just like this, and that, I mean, doesn't look terrible. I was kind of hoping that it'd be more of a sweeping turn. I think I'm going to go ahead and redraw that in real quick just to make it look a little bit better, since we do have to come at an angle across that. And so now that we have that, what I was thinking, we're going to grab this road and we're going to extend this all the way down, and I want it to begin to curve at the same interval as this one. So we're going to go up, and of course I just messed it up. We're going to trim that back. We need to go back in here into continuous, bring it all the way up to where that bends, and then we are going to have it follow just like that, and then that way we can actually have this one go straight into the road. For right now, I'm not too worried about it. I don't think we're going to be working on this area just yet, but it is something that I do want to get in there. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. Does look like we need to fix this curve just a little bit. And there we are. So now we have a nice little pattern kind of showing up here. We have an opportunity for this road to come across. I'm thinking probably right here. It does look like we need to do a little bridge, which is okay. So we'll come out here, go straight, voila. And so now let's go ahead and create a little bit of access with this upper road. I'm thinking like right about here would be good. Perfect. Look at that. That looks pretty good. And so we do need to do some residential. We're definitely going to need to do some more industry once we do start getting some stuff in here. So I would like to do a small little town over here. We do have access to high density now. So I want to create something of a main street with some lower density uses behind it. I think that really will be a cool look. So we'll go like this, and then let's go ahead and go perpendicular with that other road. Go like this, go perpendicular with that. Perfect. And then we will do some mixed use off of this main road. And I think I'm going to do a little bit smaller zoning. I don't want to do all the way back. I'm thinking like right there is probably good. And then let's actually keep it paused for right now, because we're going to come back through and kind of demolish a few of these. So we'll have this come all the way back, and then we will have a couple more come back. Let's actually go like this, because what I would like to do is get a little bit of like a residential kind of feel, like a vibe. Because then if we have this curve, kind of curve in, go at a 90, then we can have a couple little cul-de-sacs coming in here. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Have this come down, and then have this go out a little bit. And this is something that you don't really see a lot in older towns, but I felt like it was just going to help us to create a little bit of a better look. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and copy that kind of same look on this side. We'll go at until it says 90. Perfect. We'll go straight. All right, so then for this side, what I'm thinking is we will go ahead and extend these out just a bit. I do want to leave some room in the middle for some trees and stuff. That looks pretty good right there. And then what we'll do is we will actually create a little inlet in here, and we're going to do a park. So we'll go like this, have a 90. Let's go ahead and have that road come down as well, just to provide that accessibility. I think that looks good. And then we'll do a little park in here. And for this area, what I'm thinking is we'll have a little commercial center. So we'll actually, what I'm thinking is having the parking lot in the middle. So we'll have this come down, go at a 90, then come up, and then go around, create a little bit of a square. You guys have seen me do this in the past too, and I think it's just a really fun way to kind of capture a look. I want to get that distance on there. And of course, it's just a little too close. What is that, 61 yards? So we want to go out 61, and then come back up. And there we are. And then that way what we can do is actually have this kind of extend out a bit, connect up with this road. We want this to follow that same trajectory going all the way down, because I really like that it's kind of following the rail line there. I think that is a nice look. And then we can have this kind of jet off from the middle, connect up. And then we'll have this do the same thing, and we will create some accessibility for this. So let's do a bigger road. Have this come down, and then we'll have this connect up as well. And then for this area, what we're going to do is actually turn this into a bridge. So we're going to go hit that page up button, come all the way across, and then let's go down. And then that way we have a little bit of accessibility for this side too. So we'll have this cut across. I think that looks pretty good. It's not too much, but as these trees kind of come in, it's just going to make it look a little more natural rather than having like tight grids in there. So now what I'm thinking, let's actually do our parking lot first. So we're going to come in here and see if we can fit a couple of these big ones. So that one's a little too big. So we will do, I'm thinking maybe just that. I think that looks good. And then let's do a couple smaller ones as well. We'll do one right there. Let's go ahead and copy that on the other side. And then let's do a couple of the small plazas as well. I really like the look of these. I kind of wish I could fit it right there. So maybe let's do it right here because it kind of goes off the backside of that, which I think could look good. And then let's do a couple smaller parks. I would actually like to get a bigger one in there. Maybe it is time for us to unlock another park. Let's go in here and spend some development points. So let's do park maintenance, and remember, we need to place that building. Let's go ahead and do large parks and sport parks. We're just getting crazy. We're not going to do the large sports parks right now. But if you guys do want me to go ahead and hit that, let me know, and we'll maybe do that on the next episode. So I think we'll go like that. And I really hope that they come up with an update here soon to where you can connect these up, because it's kind of frustrating that you can't. This just seems like a natural progression. Just get rid of the tree. Allow me to extend the path and really turn this into a nicer look. Like if we went like that, we could really turn it into something fun, but instead it doesn't allow us to do that. And so we have to kind of draw around it, and it almost makes the park just not look as good. Like I really don't like the look as much. They still are great parks. I don't want to downplay that, but it just makes it so like I wish that we could extend it out. So then we'll bring this across, and then I think we're going to do a little bit of a dog park on this backside. I think that would be a nice addition for the neighborhood. So we'll come over here. Let's do a dog park right there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then we'll come in here and kind of fill that back in with trees. So now that we have that, let's go over here, and we want to do our small commercial area first. So we're going to go ahead and hit that I button, and we are going to leave enough room in the back to do a little pathway. So let's actually unpause so we can let these grow in. I think we're going to do a little bit in here as well. So we'll do some 3x3s. We're going to follow that off to the corner. I think we're going to leave these sides empty. And then let's do a little 3x3 right here as well. And then let's do the 3x3s over here too. And you'll kind of see it does envelope. I might even go back through here and kind of knock that down a bit. But I think right here, I'm kind of looking at this area. I'm thinking maybe another plaza would be a nice addition to that other side of the road. Let's go ahead and check it out. We can always come back and get rid of it, because I'm just thinking coming off of this, you know, these mixed uses right there, I think that that's actually going to be a nice addition. And then basically for these other areas, we do still need to do some parks over here. I'm going to just do some low density. I'm going to come through here and kind of paint it all in. I think we're going to leave this area empty for right now because we don't really have any road infrastructure. It's going to kind of require us to start building off of this area. And I think that this is going to help us to kind of satisfy that job demand that we have right now. All right, and so I went ahead and made a few changes. I did a loop around over here. I added in a bunch of residential, and then I did end up adding in a little roundabout here. We were having a little bit of an issue with the backup. You can still kind of see it. And so I did a lot of the row houses in here, quite a bit of low density since that's what most of our demand was. I did end up getting rid of some of the commercial in here as well as those parking lots. It just wasn't a great fit for the area. Then over here, I added in a couple little apartments. I tried to do kind of like a neighborhood where you have the low density in the back, you know, row houses right here, and then some small apartments kind of around the outside. We could probably even add in another one right here to kind of fill in the space, or right here. Yeah, it helps to create just a little bit of a pattern with your neighborhood. We are getting some hearse issues, and so what I'm thinking is we're going to come over here and unlock the crematorium. And I do want to look at this first and make sure that we're not getting in over our heads with costs. So this is $45,000 a month. Let's go ahead. So we're actually making some pretty good money right now. I think we can afford that $45,000 a month, and it would be a really good investment for the area. Let's see if we can find a good location for this, because I don't want to just like plop it down in a neighborhood. I want to create a little bit of a parking lot for it, make it look like it's supposed to be there rather than just like thrown in. And then what we'll do, let's see if the crematorium fits on that. Kind of wish I could move that over just a bit, but I think what we can do, we'll go like this, and then there's a little bit of a parking lot in the front, so maybe that should be good right there. And then what we'll do is just do some trees around it, and they are going to be small right now, but they'll grow in here soon. All right, just a few moments later, I ended up doing the bushes all the way around. I was kind of having some problems with the trees because we have so many other trees. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to leave it like that. But we are getting our first snow of the season, and it is October. That's one of the downsides of this map. This map gets a lot of snow. And so because of our little traffic here, I kind of want to alleviate some of that with this road over here. I think what I'm going to do is just extend this out and just provide a little more access for this area. So if we come over here, so if we go like that, I guess we'll probably just extend this out and turn this into something over there. We have a decent amount of residential now. We have satisfied a bit of our demand. We still do have quite a bit of jobs available. That was one of the reasons too why I got rid of some of them. So now we're at about a 4.8% unemployment rate, which I guess is probably a little more healthy. But now what we need to do is come over here and build on this fertile land. We really need to get our carrot farms. And before we do that, we went ahead and hit milestone 7. So we are a busy town. Congratulations, things are looking up. Thank you, game. We are at 1.6 million simoleons, 7 more development points, and 9 more expansion points. Man, we are really getting a lot of these. We can come through here pretty soon and start building off of these. There's definitely a few things that I do want to do. I want to get rid of that water, the sewage dump pipe, and then we need to place that park maintenance building. But first, let's go ahead and place this down. I'm going to do something very similar to what I did before, so I'm just going to bring this down. And one of the cool things with the real-life Tampere is the edge of this little peninsula here is actually a park, and because there's ruins down there, I think that it would just be a really nice addition for us to kind of honor that. So we're going to just bring this across. I'm going to have this cut across as well, and then that way what we can do is come over here, do the same thing, have this come across. We'll have it end right there. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. And then that way we can hopefully, I mean, we should be able to extend this road. Yeah, I think we can. If we go like that. Let's see if we can fix this, because that's going to be a little frustrating. I'm going to pause real quick because I know quite a few people are taking this route now. It looks a little better. It still kind of looks like it's a little bowed on this side. We're going to leave it at that. And so I'm going to put down our carrot farms real quick. Okay, and so here we are. I think this is pretty good. And so we're going to leave this area empty for a big park. I think we're going to have a little road come through here, maybe do a couple houses. And then down here, I was thinking about doing just some small, low density housing. We're not going to get crazy with it because this would be more of like the people who are either working on the farms or something like that. For some reason, this is not going straight. I feel like this road is not going straight. So, you know, we're going to stay 90 with the road. It's not going to be perfect, but yeah, sometimes this is just the best you can do. So we're going to go like this. And then what I'm thinking is we're going to have this road come down and we're actually going to turn it into a little roundabout. Let's go ahead and unlock the bigger roundabouts. These are good to have anyways, but it allows us to kind of make a little bit of a bigger one here, which I think is just going to look a little bit better. So if we go like that, yeah, that looks good. So now there's a little bit of a turnaround. And then right here, what we can do is just connect this road up with the big road, because we'll end up doing some commercial and like a few other things just to kind of fill this up a bit. So we'll bring this all the way down. I want to stay at about a 90 with that. And we are going to create some issues with this road right here. So what I'm thinking is maybe we'll connect this one up just to provide a little bit better access. So we'll come down here, follow the rail line down, and then let's go ahead and connect this up now. It's not perfect, but you know what? We're not going to pay attention to that right now. We'll come back through. And honestly, having a little bit of imperfection sometimes can help to make it look a little bit better. So let's go ahead and bring this up now. We'll probably do some services down here at some point. Right now, we really don't want to focus on that. But we do eventually want to add some services down here. So we'll do just some small houses. I don't want to get crazy with it. We're not going to just plop them all down. We'll probably do, let's do just a couple small little apartments off of this corner, off of the main road, go like this. So this would maybe be like an old town. So we're just doing 3x3s. A lot of these buildings will end up looking exactly the same too, which does kind of look a little bit cool. So we'll go like this, and then just behind it, we'll go in and put in probably some 3x3s as well. This just helps to create something I think that looks a little bit better. If you put huge homes in there, I think they kind of look out of place. Whereas if you put small homes, I think it just kind of looks a little cooler, like a small town vibe. And another thing that you can do, which I have done already quite a bit, is continue on your road. So now that we have those going in, what we can do is go ahead and bring this all the way down. And let's go right there. And then we will go ahead and break it down. Let's follow this. Let's go straight now. And we're going to come back, have it go at an angle. Let's go all the way up to those ones right there. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then that way we can come this way. Let's go right there. And it did ruin a little bit of zoning there. That's a little frustrating. I was hoping that we were going to be able to do that whole thing without ruining any zoning, but it does look like we did mess up a little bit of it. It's not the end of the world. I'm surprised we didn't get more zoning off of this road. So let's see if that, so it doesn't want to give us any zoning off of that road. So we're going to do 3x3. Let's actually do a little bit of a park here. just right in the middle. I think that this would be a good location for it. We might even be able to fit a bigger one. Ooh, look at that. I like that. You know what? That looks fantastic. It actually looks a little too big for this use. Again, though, man, if we could add in some paths back here, just connect this up. I really hope they add that in. Like, please allow us. If not, a mod will allow us at some point, but it'd be cool if we didn't have to use a mod for that. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and complete this across. I think over here, what we'll do, we could do, it's a little too big. Maybe we'll do 2 of these playgrounds. How much are these a month? So 2,500. We got to watch out for those costs. And then let's go ahead and do 2 of these. What's that? 2,500. And then let's do a tennis court, a big one. Yeah, I think that looks good. We could do an outdoor gym. I think they look a little weird. So we're going to go like that. Just turn this into a whole like kind of waterfront thing. I think it looks really good. Because then we can kind of bring this out. Go like that. Let's kind of curve. Let's curve this one back. And I need to be in free form in order to do so. Yeah, if we go like that, and then let's cut this one back. And then that way we can just have this one follow the water a little bit, just to give a little bit of a walking path. This would be where ride their bikes. We don't have bikes yet, but we will eventually. And so it is something that you want to keep in mind. We are going to get them eventually. And we're just going to have this follow the rail line. I honestly don't know how many people are going to use that. It's not the fastest route by any means for anything, and so there's a good chance it won't be utilized. Let's now check out our unemployment. So we're at about 6% unemployment, and we have quite a bit of jobs. Our birth rate is still increasing. So we have 63 a month, and our death rate is 49 a month. So that's, I mean, our birth rate is higher than our death rate, which is good. And it is increasing, which is fantastic. Let's go ahead and check out this new area. You know what? I think I like that a lot. I like these little apartment buildings. It would have probably been cool to do some small mixed uses. I think that may have looked a little bit better, but I kind of like this look. You know, maybe we'll come back through and change it because maybe this isn't the best use of these. But I do think it creates kind of like a cool little front street. This, you know, makes me think of like those old cities. Like this kind of vibe right here, especially with the little roundabout in the middle. I think it's very charming. And so this is actually looking really good. I don't think we're going to mess with this just yet because we're going to do that oil industry across. I don't want to get too crazy. And so we definitely have a lot on the docket. We did a lot of industry. Let's go ahead and check out what we didn't do. So let's go in here. We have livestock, we have grain, we have carrots. We didn't do any textiles. We did forestry, we did rock. We didn't do any coal or ore. So let's come over here. So it does look like we do have a little bit of coal and ore back here. Let's go into our production panel and see what we need, because these are super important. So out of coal and ore, it looks like ore is definitely running the biggest deficit. So I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to jump out of this view and we are going to create a small ore mine back here. And we do want it to be far enough away from our windmill so that it allows it to be made. So we'll go like that, and then let's delete this little road. Let's see now if it's going to allow us to plop this down. Yeah, it is. So perfect. We're going to go just like this, and then we're going to go ahead and follow it all the way around. I think we're actually going to do 2 shy of right next to that, but then we are going to follow the rail line going all the way down. And this is just because this is pretty important. We definitely need this. Yeah, look at that. So we already got an extractor building in here. This actually looks pretty good. And I'll probably end up doing some trees going down here and just to kind of complete the look. That should really help out our production of the ore. So now let's look at it, let it play out, bump up that speed a little bit. Oh yeah, look at that. We're now producing, I mean, quite a bit. It jumped initially, but looks like we're settling at about 40 tons a month. So we at least balanced it out. That's going to help us to maintain that profitability. We are still running profitable right now. And so you just got to watch out for that. And that actually looks pretty good over there. I think as we expand, we're definitely going to need to bump up our electricity. So right now we're running in a deficit. Let's see if we can place one more of these. I think we can get one more in here. So let's place that right there. And that's actually right off the road, which is fantastic. Let's see about upgrading some of these. Upgraded systems allow for a significant increase in power output. So that's only 2.5 capacity electricity is stored in mass batteries be used when Winds are low, a solar panel that increases power output. So these are still really low, especially for the costs. If we go ahead and look at our coal power plant, 70,000 a month for 20 megawatts. That's really not a lot. I think in the next episode, we're definitely going to need to upgrade. I'm thinking either the geothermal, which the geothermal is my favorite option. The downside is it needs to be above water sources. And so a lot of times you kind of place it in areas that don't look the best. I think we may shoot for this coal power plant because then we can mine it. We can kind of put it a little bit farther away. Yes, it does have a lot of pollutants, but overall I think it's good. So before we wrap up, let's go ahead and place a couple of these bigger buildings. I wanted to do the water treatment facility. We got the crematorium. We don't really need a recycler at this moment. We're going to do college here in an episode or two. We'll probably start playing around with these in a little bit. Let's do, you know what? I don't even think the city's big enough for that either. I think we're pretty good where we're at. So we're going to do the park maintenance and the water treatment plant. And I think for park maintenance, what I would like to do is probably put it a little bit closer to the city. I don't think it offers any sort of pollution or anything like that. And it'd be more of like a city service building. And so I thought it was going to be in there, but is it in the front? Oh yeah, it's right there. So park maintenance, let's check this out, see how big it is, see what it kind of looks like too. Because maybe we could just place it right here. I don't think that would look terrible. So if we did it sideways, let's just place it and see what it looks like. So it looks like a small industrial building. Again, it doesn't offer any pollution, which is awesome. I think this is actually a pretty good location for this. And then let's do a small road around it just to, so we'll come up here and let's, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do that. Yeah, you know what, that actually fit. It's a little bit bumpy, but it's not terrible. You know, it doesn't look completely bad. And then that way, I think what we can do is just do a couple small offices right here as well. Yeah, I think that that'll look good. Those aren't going to grow on right now, but it is something that we're just going to deal with in the future. And now let's come over here. So wastewater treatment facility, and this actually is a really cool building, and it is something that you want to kind of build in a bigger area. So what I'm thinking, we ended up doing the dairy right there, maybe the water plant, knowing that it was going to need a bunch more space in the future, decided that they were going to purchase a piece of land and really think ahead. So they went ahead and purchased this, and they went all the way down, and then they put the water treatment facility right there, and they invested in some parking as well. Let's see about putting in some of the bigger ones. Yeah, I think these look good. We'll do 2, and we'll probably even, I think 2's probably good for now. We could do even more though. Let's do 2 over here as well. Go like that. And then we'll come in here and kind of fill these in with trees. That is quite a bit of parking, but we'll assume that maybe this is a pretty large facility. But now that gives us the opportunity to come over here and delete this. And one of the fun things that I'm kind of playing around with, we're going to end up working with this downtown and expanding it like a normal city would. And so we're going to be upgrading its uses. We're going to come through and really shape this waterfront. So I think I want to delete this road, have the road come right across the water so we can get a nice little key in there. And would you look at that? We hit milestone 8. We are now officially a big town. Congratulations. The city is coming along nicely. Thank you, game. We got 1.9 million simoleons. We got 8 development points, and we got 10 expansion points. We're really stacking these up now. We're going to have to go through an episode maybe and just purge a bunch of these. So we do have quite a bit of issues that I think we're going to end up addressing on the next episode. We have some traffic jams appearing, and we have definitely some bottlenecks that we can improve. We'll probably come through and I'll show you guys some tips and tricks, but I think we're at a pretty good spot for this episode. So now what I'm going to do is jump into a detailing time lapse. I'm going to basically clean up a lot of these edges, go around these buildings, just make them look a little bit better, kind of spruce them up. I will catch you on the other side. Okay, and here we go. I didn't really have to go too crazy on a lot of it. I did extend out our little subdivisions over here, and it was kind of funny. I was like, man, you know, this isn't really rural living, and especially with this little downtown, I was like, maybe this was actually a city at some point before the greater Tampere kind of expanded. And so these subdivisions are now encroaching upon a lot of this farmland, and this is something that you do see in cities. But basically what I did is I just plopped in a lot of trees. Once these grow in, then it's going to look really cool. It's going to kind of look really dense and very similar to what the real city of Tampere looks. There's just a ton of trees. And so I did leave a lot of space empty because we're going to end up doing those oil fields over here. I wasn't really sure what exactly we would want to do that. I don't know if I lived in a subdivision, I don't think I'd be too happy about being across the street from an oil field. But over here, I pretty much did the same thing. I did expand some pathways a bit. I put in a ton of trees, and then that's really all I did. I just really wanted to get that dense foliage in here. Sliding on over here to our water district, I went ahead and put bushes going all the way around. I put this water tower right here because I really felt like it kind of captured this whole look, especially with the farmland. I think the water towers look really cool. I put some birch trees in front just to kind of clean it up. And over here, I didn't really have to do anything. I think this area looks good. We got the dairy farm with a couple of these industrial buildings. I think I may end up playing whack-a-mole with these. And probably even putting in a row of trees in the front. I feel like this is a little barren. And overall, I think this looks really good. We left a lot of room for opportunities. On the next episode, we definitely need to address our traffic. And I did want to look at our unemployment before we left. So we're at about a 10% unemployment rate, and we're creeping up near that jobs available. So that tells us that we really need to plop down some more commercial or some more industrial, which we do have high demand for both of those. And so go ahead and let me know what you guys thought of the episode. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and click on the video on your screen. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.